Now, let's talk about the financial market, and this time we're talking about the fixed income as well as the forex market. For the fixed income, we saw that it was a bearish close for Monday, and then a bullish for Monday, and then the market currently is in session. And then we also had it that the central bank had posted on their website that the closing exchange rate of the Naira against the dollar was 1,518 Naira 89 kobo. So now we'll ask our analysts today who will be giving us details about that, as well as other developments both within and outside Nigeria, how the markets and investors are reacting at the moment. And we have Apeno Oputu, Chief Dealer with Lotus Bank, to give us highlights, details, and what to expect within the market. Thank you for joining us, Apeno.
Thank you for having me on the program today.
Okay. So now, I just mentioned about the central bank posting that closing exchange rate of about 1,580 Naira 89 kobo against the dollar. And of course, the Naira has been trying to make a comeback both on the parallel market and the official market. So how has the market reacted to these current levels as we speak?
Okay, so the rate 1,518.89 Naira to the dollar was what we saw on the CBN official website on Monday. So how market has reacted to this? Market has been relatively stable. So this is the strongest that we have seen that the Naira appreciated since March 14th of 2025. So what this is signaling is a wave of positive momentum in the currency. So market actually projects that the Naira will be stable around this rate. It's going to trade between 15 levels to 15.35 Naira to the dollar this week. So we've seen improved FX liquidity in the market. We've seen the CBN come into the market to intervene on Monday there, and on Friday they sold a total of about $180 million, and that's actually giving stability to the market. So from the OMO auctions that were conducted last week, we've seen FPIs bring in these inflows, and from these inflows the central bank is able to intervene in the market, and that's actually provided stability in the FX rate. However, we continue to see this rate trade around the 1,520 to 1,530 Naira to the dollar level. So we expect that as much as the CBN continues to intervene in the market and FX gains traction, we'll see these rates trend lower.
Okay, so now with that being said, what is the level of confidence of foreign investors within that market space for Nigeria's economy overall?
So we're at 1,518 to the Naira. It shows that the foreign investors are actually confident on the market, the stability and the transparency in the market, because there's less volatility right now in the market. So when you had the opportunity to go into the market to buy funds, you can actually purchase funds at this level. The market has willing buyers, willing sellers at these low levels, and it's actually very encouraging coming from where we were on the Naira last year, trading above 1,600 Naira to the dollar. This is actually a win for the central bank. It's been good development. As we continue to see steady oil export revenues coming to the country, we'll continue to see the rates trend lower. We expect that we'll one day get to 1,500 Naira to the dollar, which is where the budget for 2025 was actually built at.
Okay, so now let's go straight to where your market forte, which is the Sukuk market. It closed the month of May at about a 19.75 interest rate, and that's for the 7-year instrument. So how has this paper been trading since then, in contrast to the other debt instruments such as the bond and the treasury bills?
Okay, so like you rightly mentioned, when the Sukuk was floated in May, it's closed at 19.75%, which is actually the best profit rate that we have seen on the Sukuk instrument. At that time, it was the same for the federal government bonds, and the treasury bills were trading around similar levels. But what we see in the market is money market instruments actually trending lower. The FGM bonds that are around the 2032 papers are trading around 16.9%, and treasury bills trading much lower at 15% level. So the expectation is that once the Sukuk starts trading in the market, they will actually find the levels and be trading alongside where the federal government bonds are trading. When you mentioned earlier, you mentioned the stock markets improving, seeing gains and wins, and that's because people are actually shy of the levels they are finding in the federal government bond, the money market space. So they're moving investments to where they can get higher returns, which is why the stock markets seem to be booming at this level. So for the Sukuk paper, we expect it to trade a little lower than where it closed at the auction at 19.75%, reflecting whatever is happening in the other fixed income securities.
I'm sure investors are really keeping an eye on all the markets, and I know that there's this correlation between the stock market and the fixed income market as well as the forex market. But we keep our eyes on how all these markets are performing, and of course, investors will make the right choices when they choose to put their money where their mouth is. Thank you so much for your time on the show.
Thank you very much for having us.